What is going on, guys? FMU here. Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to another FM Pointless Experiment. So today we're going to have a little look and see how the Premier League would fare if every single team had no players. Keeping their finances the same, so some will have more financial clout than others, but every single one of them starting off without a single player. So just have a quick little look here. Just ignore those there because they've actually gone now. Well, they should have done anyway. If they're not, that's very disappointing. Oh, they've still got a few. So we'll just go in and terminate the kids out of Arsenal. I knew there was a few that I'd missed out at Arsenal when I started. Okay. And so back up to the senior squad. So as you can see, they've all got none. There has been one team that has signed a player, and that's Chelsea. Typically they've taken Hugo Lloris on a free after his release from Tottenham, but apart from that, as far as I'm aware, nobody else has signed another player. Let's go through, and no, Lewis Holtby, but he's actually transferring already, but Bob will terminate his contract, so he's not there. So they've all got no players. You got no fans, you got no players. So what I want to do is I want to move ahead now to the end of the first transfer window, and we'll have a look and see who the teams have brought in and how they are in the league at the moment. Then we'll jump ahead to January. Have a look at, well, the end of the January transfer window, have a look there, and then finally end of the season, and just see if it makes much of a difference with them all starting off on a level playing field, player wise, player staff wise. So yeah, let's get on with it, guys, and let's have a little look see. Okay, so we're not interested in the outs, we're just only interested on the ins, and this is Arsenal's ins. El Habsi has come in, interestingly. He's their first choice keeper. He's conceded 1 goal, so fair play to him for that. Joey Allen's joined them as well. He's made a couple of appearances so far, nothing spectacular. Indy Boonen, who's a youngster who's released by Manchester United. Gary Cahill's in there, which is decent signing for them, to be fair. Seamus Coleman, another good signing. So Arsenal have started well. I mean, Aaron Cresswell as well, we all know he's a decent player. Football Manager fans have been picking him up for years. Carl Darlow is the second choice goalkeeper for them. Cesc Fabregas has returned. He has returned to Arsenal as part of this bizarre shake-up. Gabriel Paulista has joined, which is interesting because I think he has joined them in real life, hasn't he? Oops. So that's a bit bizarre, but never mind. Eric Lamela. You see, what they've done is Arsenal appear to have just taken all the, a lot of the big decent players from around them and just sort of gone, come. They've acted very quickly. Mangala, I'm assuming they've paid for him. No, free transfer. Oh yeah, of course, silly me. Free transfer, so they've got Mangala as well. Alberto Moreno is in there. Jesus Navas. God, they have been busy, haven't they? Oscar, oh my lord, this is a pretty decent team. Ramirez, Loic Remy, Sacco. God, Wenger's been clever. Oh my life, Sergei Aguero. My days, Arsenal have been busy bumblebees. Deary me. So Aston Villa, wow, they've not been quite so busy. Awkward. Very awkward. They haven't really brought in a lot, have they, at all? They could struggle. Callum Wilson, that's a good signing. They've got Jaskalainen, Ruben Lameras. We're going to have to go through it. like this, aren't we? Angus Gunn, young goalkeeper. Where did you come from, Man City? I thought you might have done. Jason McCarthy. He's come from Southampton. Bachman, Danny Bachman. Oh my God, he looks about 5. He's coming from Stoke. Callum Wilson, we all know Callum Wilson, very good player. Decent signing for them. 3-3 as well, very good. Very decent. John Lundstrom, who currently in real life is a target for my beloved Crew. So there you go. We've already seen him. Carl McFadden, 19-year-old defender from Norwich. Alex Davey, he's from Chelsea. Dale Eve, my goodness, you look a bit of a brute. What a brute. From Stoke. They've seen a lot of goalkeepers. And they've taken Concha on loan from Sporting. So Villa's recruitment drive not looking very promising for them at the minute, but they're still 7th. Bournemouth have been busy. They've actually spent money as well, which is interesting. So they've got James Atkinson, who's come in. They've signed him from Queen of the South. Interesting deal. Oh, Delamere. Who else have we got? Jack Barmby, the former United youngster. He's come in. Yannick Bastos, the former Bolton player. A few of you may possibly remember I did like a mockumentary series with the Luxembourg national team. He was one of the boys involved in that. Matt Butcher, where does he come from? Is he... No, he's come back to them by the looks of things. Interesting. Who else have we got? Fankati Darbo from Chelsea. Dom Dwyer from West Brom, I believe. Oh no, I signed him for West Brom on one of my saves. Just ignore me. I'm being a twerp. Dom Dwyer, we've got Jack Flanagan, who's come in. Adel Gaffati. Alright. Thomas Gomelt. Ray Grant. Reece Hall Johnson. A lot of Norwich players still getting in the Premier League, which is interesting. Tom Hopper, former Leicester boy. Ryan Innes from Crystal Palace. Always a good sign of football manager for the lower league boys. Brad Jones. The only thing he's ever caught is cold. Josh Leyland. He's from Derby. Interesting. Chris Long. He's from Everton. And Matthew Neal. Ollie Norburn. Loads of fake crappy players. Thierry Ambrose from Man City. He always looks a cheeky little chappy, doesn't he, in his pictures. So Bournemouth have done better. Oh, God's sake. Bournemouth have done better business than what Villa did. Let's put it that way. We need to rush through, well, not rush, but we need to hurry through these now. And already you can see Van Persie's now a Chelsea player. But look at that. That's interesting. Interesting. Really, oh, they've signed. They spent money on Pato. Let's have a quick little look through. We'll do it this way now. It'll be quicker. So Lloris has come in. Mutha. Where are you from? Manu? Yeah, normally, if they're a Belgium youngster, it's normally United. Conrad Logan, Kevin Morales, Luke Shaw, Carl Walker, Pato they spent some money on, Ramsey, Carrick, Coutinho, Klein, Van Persie, Vertonghen, Wilshere, Henderson, Barkley, Wilson and Rose. So they've got a lot of midfielders, but a lot of decent ones at that. Aaron Ramsey's a big one for them. Crystal Palace not quite so active in the transfer list, to be honest. Shaquille Coulthurst is coming on loan from Norwich, so Norwich would have signed him on a free because he's been released by Tottenham. Rene Gilmartin, Remy Street, Greg Lee was at Crew on loan last season, tried to sign him permanently but his wage demands were ridiculous. James Weir, wow. Everton, my God, they've been slow off the bat. Look at that. Cody Cropper, Walshed, Chesney, Given, Benitez, Butcher, Samuel Jones and Cameron King. Samuel Jones, 30-year, oh my goodness. They are really scraping it there. This is interesting, man. Oh my God. Leicester have slowed right down. What bizarre signings though. They've got all of those free transfers to choose from, and they've gone for Cody McDonald from Gillingham. You got Greg Halford from Forest, Gary O'Neill, Sam Besant and Calvin Davis. My goodness, Leicester could struggle. Liverpool, very astute side now, and Joe Hart, Harry Kane, Callum Chambers, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lescott, Barry, John O'Shea, surprising, Sharbaloa, Jason Denayer. Good player, Jason Denayer. Worth a punt on Football Manager, in my opinion. And Kawaya on loan from Anderlecht. Very strange, isn't it? Some of the players that go for... Oh my God, Man City. What are you playing at? They've brought in 2 players. Russell Griffiths, after his release from Everton, and Chris Kettins, who was also released by not Everton, by Crystal Palace. I thought it was from Everton. Man United, boom, busy boys. Busy boys spent some money as well. Oh, good signing there I've just spotted in Charlie Austin. So Michel Vorm, Stuart Taylor and Simon Moore, 3 goalkeepers there. Charlie Austin, Jordi Amat, Charles Gilles, Van Aanholt, Wanyama, Liam Moore, Wickham, Coquelin, Ward, Danny Welbeck's back, Andre Wisdom, Ben Davies, Eric Dyer, Bakuna, Shelby, John Stone's brilliant signing for them. Kramaric, Markovic, Yuri Tielemans, which is a very good signing. Patrick Bamford, Matty James, Harrison Reed, Sam Johnson they brought back, and Dimichelis. Interesting. Newcastle, been busy as well, to be fair. Vito Manone, Mbia, Oxley, McGee, Hendry, Blackett, Anthony Knockhart, Jake Sinclair, who tends to do really well on Football Manager, Will Keane, Callum McManaman, Sean Murray, and a couple of others. Bailey Wright from Preston and Matt Doherty from Wolves, and Sol Ki-hyun from Incheon. That's not too bad. They've done a bit of business. Let's have a look at... Oh wow, Jamie Ness on loan at Crewe last season. Great player, I like him. Trickett Smith, the idiot who left Crewe to go die in Liverpool's under-21s, basically. Lee Camp, Macaulay, Last Day Donback, so I used to sign him a lot back in the day. Jed Steer, Reece James, Carmona from Seville on loan, and Kyoto on loan from Seville. And like I said, Shaquille First. Southampton, again, busy boys. They've signed Nyland from Mulder. Ben Hamer. The wee man has joined. Gary Gardner as well. J. Emmanuel Thomas. Craney. Delfonso. This is really interesting. There's so many players to choose from, and they're signing... No, without being disrespectful, they're signing, a lot of the teams are signing very low-profile players compared to what they could probably get. Johnny Zakora, what a good signing that is for Stoke. Larkins, Gillespie, the keeper from Carlisle. Robinson, released by Villa. Gary Hooper, Mark Bunn, another keeper. Brian Oviedo, decent player. Fafaro. Wow, there are some really bizarre... I mean, wow. Sunderland signing 2 players. Good thing is though, with it having the free transfers and stuff, there'll be a lot of players still moving around, I'm sure of that. So Swansea being very, very involved in the market with Ian Lawler, Paul Robinson. Is that goalkeeper Paul Robinson? I'd imagine it is. It is. Robbie Brady for 5.2 million from Hull. Mark Howard from Sheffield United. Vukic, Michael Caine, he could turn out to be a cracking player on this game. He's at Leicester when you start. Definitely worth a look at, guys. He does turn into a cracking player if you use him right. Signed Connor Thomas from Coventry, Daniel Powell from MK Dons. They've taken John Irving on loan from Auckland. Jack Grimmer's joined for 2.4 million from Fulham. So Swansea with intent. McShane's come in. They've got Dele Alli, Stephen Fletcher, Garbutt, who's a good player on the game, as we know. Albrighton, Jack Hunt, and Jack Grealish on loan from Arsenal. I didn't notice Jack Grealish had joined Arsenal, to be fair. Tottenham, busy-ish. They've got Mingale, Sigurdsson back, Leon, Darryl Haven. What a bizarre signing that is. Rob Huth, Aaron McCarthy from Wolves, Angel Rangel, Giacchini, Jordan Much, Bojan, fairly decent. Karen Rekic, who's always a decent player on Football Manager. But yeah, these are some weird signings. Watford pulling their usual loans from their other parent, you know, their owners' other clubs. So they got the guys from Udinese and Granada. They got Carlo Nash, Michael Harriman, Kishi Anderson. Who's he? Where's he come from? Christ Hall Palace. Let's have a look. Josh Sheehan, George Evans, released by Man City. Signed Sean Batt from Orient and Jordan Bove from Oldham. And then Curtis Good out of those is really the only one that's quite recognisable. West Brom, Lonergan, Mason Vickers, Gary Taylor Fletcher, Peter Ramage, for James Hayter. Good old James Hayter getting his chance in the Premier League at the tender age of 35. Darryl Russell, Jeebus. There's a blast from the past. Been a while since I've seen him around. Akpo Sodje getting a chance in the Premier League. Lee Bell. Oh, Belly. I know Belly, he's a good pal of mine from his time at Crewe. Matt Bloomfield, Jabba Abire. I mean, look, this is not being disrespectful, but they've got all those players to choose from, and they sign 35-year-old James Hayter, Akpo Sodje, who's 30-odd, 33, Lee Bell, who's been released by Burton. They've got Charm, who's on loan from Olympique Lyon after his release from Man City. So it's interesting, isn't it, how they do it? I mean, Sam Slocum's gone to West Ham, Ben Pringle, Aidan Flint, Nathan Akey, Remy Matthews, Ryan Kent, the Liverpool lad, Carl Tremarco's joined for 9k. Danny Potts has come back, interesting, and John Johnson. Good old John Johnson, whoever he is. He signed Denzel Slager. He's joined after his release from Coventry, apparently. So, I mean, it's bizarre. Really bizarre. But, where's Jack Grealish now? It doesn't sound there that they signed Jack Grealish. Oh, yes, it does. There it is. There. Silly me. But, guys, those are the transfers so far. So, what do we reckon? So far, Liverpool are top of the league. Harry Kane, top goal scorer, superb. Supremo. Then we've got Charlie Austin for United. Shaquille Colfirst with 3 at Norwich. So Man City struggling at the bottom because of their lack of transfer activity. So what do we reckon, guys? Do we think Arsenal? I quite fancy Arsenal to do the league, I do, because they seem to have really acted quickly and brought in the best of the ones released, some of the best of the ones for the released teams around them in the Premier League. But I guess only time will tell. Will Man City get relegated? Ooh, the plot thickens. Let's go check it out, guys. Okay, Harry Kane is the top goal scorer, followed by Welbeck and Austin, and backed up by Aguero. Interestingly, Arsenal 4th. I thought they'd be the leaders by now, but what do I know? You know, at the end of the day, Sunderland practically gone already with just 5 points. City struggling, still in the same place they were when we left them off. So let's just have a quick little run through and see who they have signed since we last looked. So Reece Oxford and Rio De Silva. So Reece Oxford's joined from West Ham. He's made a cup appearance, and De Silva, who's only 15, signed after his release from Chelsea. Aston Villa have not really done much since, have they? They brought in Curtis Langton, who was released by Everton. Cameron King on loan from Everton after he joined them from Norwich, and Carlton Morris, who is also a Norwich. A lot of the Norwich kids getting in the Premier League, aren't they? Really going for it. Josh Doherty from Everton on loan, and they've also taken Michael Falevi after he was released. He's only 16. He was released by Watford. So they've not made too many changes there. Josh Murphy is the only extra player to join Chelsea. He's another former Norwich player, I think. Let me just double check that. I'm sure it's him. Yes, it is him. Absolute sod of a player. Very good player. Always scores against me. Always. Josh Sims has joined from Manchester United on loan to Crystal Palace, and William Boyle, he's come in from Huddersfield on a free transfer. So Crystal Palace making a couple of signings. Everton have brought in Kevin Lisby for £4,300. Josh Doherty. Ooh, Sam Saunders. I like Sam Saunders. Good player. Getting his chance. But it just amazes me, the players that they have brought in. They've got so many to choose from, and they're all signing these players from lower leagues. It's quite interesting. Leicester just can't be bothered to sign anybody, clearly. Uche has joined on loan from Villarreal. They've also taken... Oh, no, that was it. They were already there, weren't they? So Liverpool have only made one more signing. Manchester City, Harry Wilson, that's it. They've made one more signing. They are struggling like hell. Very bizarre from Manchester City, considering the financial clout they've got. United, they've only brought in Josh Sims. He's the only player, and they've loaned him out. Newcastle United have brought in Unai Lopez on loan from Athletic. 19-year-old midfielder. He's come in. So they've not... It's really gobsmacking. It really is. It's just bizarre. Jerome Sinclair's joined on loan from Stoke up at Norwich. Southampton, Dominic Solanke has come in. He's the guy from Chelsea. And that's about it, isn't it? I think I can't remember those being there beforehand, but they've got Wildquist on loan from Juventus. Stoke have taken a few players in on loan. Darnell Fisher, Daniel De Silva, and Josphemir Ballon. So they've strengthened a little bit. Sunderland again, bottom of the league, not bothering, just letting it slip. Wow. Interesting. They've taken Ashley Cole on loan from Roma, and also Samuel Holman on loan from Fenerbahce. So Swansea doing all right. They did a lot of business, didn't they, first time round? So I'm not surprised they're doing okay. Tottenham, Loftus-Cheek, they've got Andros Townsend back, which is a decent signing for them. John Flanagan, Loftus-Cheek, and Jack Butland has joined. So they've got a good goalkeeping department, to be fair. Jack Olnick has joined Watford along with Bar O'Neill. Eustace back at Watford. Matt Macy and Andy Rose from Seattle has joined on loan. So he's at Watford now. West Brom, nothing again. How's Lee Bell doing, my boy Belly? Oh, he's had a good run in the Premier League. Good old Belly boy. And they're 11th in the league. West Ham have brought in Harry Winks, who's, I think Tottenham. And Carlos Lobaton from Cristal. And Ronaldo Cruzado. Wow, he looks interesting, to say the least. He's in there at West Ham. So not a lot gone on transfer wise at all. Since the original transfer window. A few managerial changes. Holloway's in at West Ham, McLaren at Sunderland, De Boer at City, and Martin Yol at Everton. So they've had a few changes around. And let's have a look at the FA Cup and see who's still in it. So Tottenham, Swansea, Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle are gone. Replay. Liverpool are in, West Brom are gone. Are Man City still in it? Are Man City still fighting the good fight is the question. United are. I swear to God I just seen Man City. Where are they? Leicester are out. Newport, West Ham are gone. Southampton gone. Norwich gone. Man City lost to Middlesbrough. Wow. Arsenal 7, Walsall 0. So, you know, there's... Wow, Liverpool United made the final still of the Capital One Cup. And Arsenal thumped Man City 6-1. Ouch, up in your face. But yeah, I don't know what to say really. I mean, it's very bizarre. How did Arsenal do in the Champions League? Because they've ended up in the Europa League. Did they... Wow, best place playoff. They got slapped stupid. But, guys, let's get to the end of the season and see what unfolds with this bizarre transfer movement that is going on in the Premier League. Right, and guys, so here we are, the final look at how the Premier League panned out as my wife decided to start mowing the lawn outside. For that, I am eternally apologetic. So Harry Kane finished top goal scorer with 30 goals for Liverpool, followed by Charlie Austin with 25 for United, and Welbeck of United and Arsenal's Aguero on 20 each. Average ratings goes to Aguero. John Stones interestingly in there for United, and Cresswell for Arsenal, along with Coutinho for Chelsea. Most assist goes to Coutinho, followed by Sigurdsson back at Tottenham, and the Liverpool duo of Oxlade-Chamberlain and Gareth Barry. Most player of the match awards goes to Jack Hunt of Swansea, which is interesting. That's really pretty interesting, to be fair. Didn't expect that. Aguero second with 8, Stones, John Stones with 7, and Richards with 7. Most clean sheets, Michael Vaughan at United, then Hart, Lloris and Mingale. Most yellow cards goes to Spahic of Liverpool, Weir of Palace, and Beer of Newcastle, and Huth of Tottenham. And over here, as you can see, it hasn't had a massive impact really on the Europa League and the Champions League pecking orders. Arsenal, who I expected to do really well, have actually struggled in a way. Ridiculous saying they struggled when they finished with 91 points. But look at that, the gap between Tottenham and Arsenal, 5th and 4th, 68 points and 91 points. Crazy. And then Chelsea winning it with 102, United second 98, and Liverpool third 97. Sunderland only picked up 2 more points since the close of the January transfer window, and Manchester City have also been relegated. So when we look at this pointless experiment, see what it would be like with a complete level playing field, it bodes well for teams such as Swansea, Watford, Newcastle, Villa, Palace, Bournemouth and all those guys. But for the big guns Manchester City and Sunderland, well, I say big guns in Manchester City and Premier League's perennial strugglers Sunderland and West Ham, who are, you know, either there or here a lot of the times in the football calendar. Southampton did alright, but Swansea probably doing the better out of everybody. Watford as well with a big boost after just being promoted. But guys, the thing that we need to take from this is how bizarre the transfers are on this game when the teams don't have any players whatsoever. I mean, we saw a lot of the teams go into League 1, League 2, the Conference. Like half of Norwich's release youth team ended up being Premier League starters. It's very bizarre, and that's no disrespect to any of them. It's just a bizarre situation. And to put it bluntly, Arsenal still brought in some brilliant players and still failed to prosper. But let's have a look at Le Schedule, and let's have a look at who won that. United lost in the final 1-0 to Liverpool in the Capital One Cup, with Julian Lescott getting on the score sheet there. FA Cup final is still to be played between Tottenham and Liverpool, but they could finish well there. They could finish with 2 trophies at least. Let's have a little look at that. Let's see who won the Champions League and who won the Europa League. So the Champions League, Atletico versus Real Madrid in the final. We don't need to see who wins them. This is just having a little look to see if any of the the Premier League teams managed to make a decent showing of themselves in the European competitions. Europa League, Shakhtar Wolfsburg. No, my wife's beating the hell out of something outside. Arsenal did make the quarterfinals though, which is fairly decent. I'm just going to skip ahead and we'll see who wins the FA Cup, see if Liverpool can do the double. So just for that last little bit of closure, guys, Liverpool did do the double in the Cup, FA and League Cup. Charbaloa, Uche and Kane with the goals. Bojan and a Shayon Harrison penalty for Tottenham. So, to conclude, on FM anyway, when there's no players in the Premier League team, they make some crazy messed up signings, and Manchester City think they don't need to spend any money and get relegated. So, thank you for joining me for this pointless project, guys. Really appreciate the support. Thank you for watching. Drop a like if you've enjoyed it, of course. That always helps and is really appreciated. Pop me some comments below if you feel the need to. Keep it clean, don't keep it mean. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.